Dear Lord, thank you for allowing us to be here this evening. Thank you for allowing us to be here to conduct the city's business and give us guidance on what is the correct thing to do for the citizens of Heber Springs. Let us have a great evening tonight and a great rest of the week. In your son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. City Council meeting for the month of August 2020. Please come to order. Will everybody silence their cell phones, please? Better do that myself. Jim, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I certainly would. If you can hear me with this mask on.
We can hear you. We'll join you.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nancy, will you please call roll?
Casey Griffin. Here. Jim Lay.
Here.
Hollis Bourne.
Present.
Louis Short.
Here.
Sharon Williams.
Here.
Paul Muse.
Here.
Allie Sugg.
Here.
Terry Lynn.
Here.
The Press. Chris Foster.
Let the record show we have a quorum. Next item on the agenda is to waive reading and approve the minutes as presented from the July 16th, 2020 council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Nancy?
Jim Lay.
Yes.
Allie Sugg.
Yes.
Paul Muse.
Yes.
Hollis Bourne.
Yes.
Louis Short.
Yes.
Casey Griffin. Abstain. Sharon Williams.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item is approval of the payments journal for the month of July 2020. Do we have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Nancy?
Paul Muse. Paul Muse.
Yes.
Hollis Bourne.
Yes.
Sharon Williams.
Yes.
Louis Short.
Yes.
Casey Griffin. Yes. Jim Lay.
Yes.
Allie Sugg.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item is the approval of the street, sanitation, general, community center, O&M, and miscellaneous funds for the month of July 2020. Entertain a motion to accept as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Allie Sugg.
Yes.
Hollis Bourne.
Yes.
Sharon Williams.
Yes.
Casey Griffin. Yes. Louis Short.
Yes.
Paul Muse.
Yes.
Jim Lay.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item, you have the supervisor's reports in your packets. Are there any questions for the supervisors?
The supervisor I had a question for is not present yet, which would be the police chief. He and I have been having discussions, and I know he's talked to you, Jimmy, about the 911 funding in the jail, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I was anticipating him to have some numbers, so we'll save that to the very end and see if he shows up.
Yeah, he should be.
Downstairs.
He's downstairs?
Yeah.
We'll save it for later then.
Okay.
But I do have a question, Doug. We all get out in the community. We know, we've all heard the real estate stories about if you want to sell your house, you just say yes and somebody will start throwing money at you. What about the, and I'm not kidding, what about the building permits? Are up, down compared to a year ago, what?
We're up just a little bit. We've
We've never slowed down.
never really gained from where we were when I started, but we've also lost a lot of area to build.
Right.
Most of the vacant lots we're to a regeneration stage where we need to tear down old build new, a lot of the older structures downtown, ground needs to be cleared off.
We don't have as many contractors in the area as we used to. Is that correct?
That is correct. We've got a few.
Well, I've had people tell me that
Moved on.
they've gone, they've quit, retired, whatever, so, you know, we've lost some, so.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot more out of town.
Right. Cool. All right.
Got the police chief here.
Oh! Chief Hale, perfect timing. We were just doing the department head reports, and I wanted you and I to visit with the council about, we're going to skip the jail because Paul and I were at the meeting last Thursday night. Quorum Court approved an expenditure to hire a company to draft a plan to remodel what they've got to put them in compliance. If that works, they want to cash flow it with the money they've got, not ask for a tax increase or whatever. I see we have county representation here. So, which is a good thing. So they're going to get that back in a couple of months and we'll see what happens. Because, you know, he can tell me the catch and release story. We still having issues with that?
No issues, they're just releasing everybody. It's becoming an issue because if you'll notice in the reports, we've gone from around 130 average on reports to about 230 for last month. And I don't anticipate that getting any better.
So do you say that this is repeat offenders that should be incarcerated that you're having to deal with again?
Absolutely. It's a large number of parolees that we're dealing with. And, you know, that's a state level issue. Until the state accepts prisoners again, with releasing them on us, it's going to continue to be a problem. I don't know who solved that problem, but it's going to have to be addressed. We can't keep on doing this. The crimes are getting more violent, and some of that is due to being pinned up. I get that, but we're just seeing a different level of offenders, even here. We've had, last weekend, we had deputy recovered 3 stolen vehicles. Some of them were county issued. One of them was ours, and one of them was from Jackson County. So you're just seeing a lot more major crimes happening in Heber Springs.
Now, while you're on your feet, he and I have been discussing the 911 funding, and we all know that the county took over that. And we all know that during our budget process, and I want to point the finger at Allie because she's the one that said, wait a minute, why are we giving them so much money with no documentation? So I want to, would you pass that down? That's just a sample that I wrote up a long time ago. You know, we're in the process right now of being audited by the state. And we really need to have some sort of documentation on where why that money is going to them and why that amount. Now, I'm going to turn this over to Brian because he's going to throw a couple of numbers out. What's the county budget for 2020 for the 911? How much was it?
It's said about 533,000.
Okay. How much has the state given them so far?
They've received 394, 364.
So that's for 2 quarters.
Well, that is total. That is, for the first 2 quarters of 911 money alone, they've received 217,000. They've received an additional 93,000 from us and the other jurisdictions.
Right.
And so their total for right now, as far as revenues coming in for 911, has been $364,138, which, when I'm doing the math, they're to $168,864, and they've made their budget. So, you know, I've had some conversations with some folks, and I'm trying to get them to look at it because everybody's in a crunch. But,
So we've given 93,000 and we still have like 43,000
Is that correct,
more
Dave?
to give?
Yeah, see, you know, their budget was 533. They've gotten 217 so far this year from the state, from the 911 fees.
911.
So they've still got 2 more quarters, so there's another $217,000. So if my math is correct, that's $434,000 that they will receive from the state. So subtract that from their 533 budget, that leaves $100,000, which means that we, the citizens of Heber Springs and the taxpayers of Heber Springs, have paid the 911 budget for all the year, and the county has not put a lick into it. If this continues like this, the county will not have put any money into it, neither will the smaller cities around here. So there's something wrong with that formula. And this kind of goes back on Jimmy. The judge is supposed to have a intergovernmental meeting, and I know that's tentatively scheduled for next month, if it works.
Yep.
But we really need something from the county in writing, some sort of agreement says your share of the 911 is this much money.
Right.
And I would recommend that we make no further payments to the county for this until we have that. Because I don't want to get slapped by the auditors and say, hey, where'd this $130-something thousand go? Because we have no paperwork, no documentation, no agreement, no nothing. So I would recommend we not pay anything else, because if it continues on like it is, they don't need the rest of our money to make their budget. And I don't, and it would kind of stick in my craw if we paid this and at the end of the year they say, oh yeah, we needed 533, but we had 620,000. We'll just hang on to that excess for next year.
Right now.
I don't want to do that. So I'm not sure how we suspend the payments unless it's by a majority vote of the city council, but I would recommend we not make any further payments until we have something in writing to show that we're paying our fair share.
Jimmy, when is that meeting supposed to be next month? Has it been scheduled yet?
It's
Intergovernmental meeting?
second week,
Okay.
and it hasn't been a tentative date yet.
Is it open to the public?
That
Yeah.
meeting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, now, I'm not saying that that's going to take place, because I just understand it may take place. I mean, he has to set that and do it once a year, but when and where is up to him. And I mean, you put all the, I mean, it may be a difficult meeting to arrange. He may have to use the downstairs here in the gym to have enough room for the social distancing. So, but I mean, but I recommend we not make any more payments until we have something in writing. I just have a little problem with that.
Not at all.
I second that.
You gonna put that in the form of a motion?
I'll put it in a motion that we suspend payments to the county for the 911 fund pending a formal agreement with the county. I recommend we make no further payments. I make that in the form of a motion.
I second.
Until what do you say? Until we,
Get a formal agreement,
Pardon me?
right? She said until the formal agreement.
Yeah, it's a formal motion.
Does that mean in writing?
No, you said until we get a formal agreement from.
Yes, until we have a formal agreement in writing, yes. Brian, while you're still standing up, what was Greer's Ferry's share of this funding?
My understanding is equipment and Greer's Ferry paid $2,500.
$2,500. So if you do the math by population wise, that would mean we would pay,
15,000 or so.
okay? Another reason to have a sit down on this.
Well, they didn't know, and I'm the one that says if we made the agreement, we stick to it, unless they were farm away. But, you know, I get that we need to analyze this. And, I just, they're wanting to get that third set of numbers in, and I understand that, because going into it at the beginning, we didn't know what it was gonna be. They didn't realize
They
it was
didn't
gonna triple.
Granted.
And, you know, so that's there too. And it's up to y'all on that, but they should be getting that. With the third set of numbers be September. So, and they're talking about it. They understand the situation. It's something important. That's the
Right. Okay.
Chief, one question. Okay, and I may be wrong on this, but I was informed that a while back, females were 6% of the jail population, and today they're 16%. And that they didn't have adequate facilities for female prisoners. So, is that correct?
The jail currently could not hold females, period, because of the number of males.
Okay.
So they're having to outsource the females.
Okay.
To White County. Now, you know, in the discussions they're having, they've got I want to say it's a 30–40% calculation for holding females because the rest of the females is actually gone. So,
I think the other night they said they were planning for a 70-30 split
the change.
in the future.
70-30?
70 males and 30%. That's what their projected plan is for whatever renovations or remodeling they do. That's the number they're basing on.
Thank you, Chief. We need to finish our,
We need a vote.
Casey?
Yes.
Louis Short?
Yes.
Sharon Williams?
Yes.
Paul Muse?
Yes.
Paula Corn?
Yes.
Jim Lake?
Yes,
Ally Sugg?
Yes.
Thank you.
good point.
motion
I'll
carries.
give you edible on that one.
Here, right here, Jim. He just sticks in my craw.
Okay, any other questions for the supervisors? Okay, moving on to unfinished business. We've got on the agenda Michael Hernandez and Mary David about the cat issue. Mary, you're here, Mr. Hernandez is not. Anything that you want to inform the council about, or?
No, I won't give you my big long speech like last time, but just so you know, in his area, somebody had a tame, long-haired calico cat. She had kittens. We have now, the lady that he's complaining about has now caught 2 of them, and I have one in a foster home. As soon as she catches the other 2, we'll get them in a foster home. And I will walk over there and pick up the cat and take it to the Humane Society. These people just left their cats loose. I don't understand this at all. I mean, I'm here, I'll fix your cats. There's something I want to mention, I don't know if we can get it in the paper or not. We now have vouchers that we got from the AARF Foundation that we can now do, I can pay for low-income people's dogs to be fixed, or cats to be fixed. They have to pay $30 for a dog and $10 for a cat. That would be nice if we could get it in the, in your little thing to announce out to the people, even though we try to announce it on Facebook and things. But it's for low income, they have to make less than $30,000 a year. And they can call me, my number, I can give you my number. I don't care, I answer anybody who calls me. It's 501-270-2143.
Okay.
Okay? And I'll help them.
Lisa will contact Chris and get that on the Facebook, on the website as well.
I'll give her my numbers.
Okay. Mary, thanks so much for all your efforts. Next item of unfinished business is the nuisance ordinance. This is the third reading. We need to read it by title only. Anybody care to read this
I'll
by
take care of
title
that.
only?
Do we know, you know what ordinance number this is gonna be?
2020-06.
06? 06, that's all we've done this year?
We had a few things we missed.
Okay. All right, an ordinance amending Heber Springs Municipal Code, Title 5, Chapter 5.04, providing for the maintenance of property and the condemnation and removal of houses, buildings, personal property, and/or structures constituting a nuisance within the corporate limits, providing for a lien on the property, providing a penalty therefor, and for other purposes. That was the third reading, correct?
I'm sorry?
That was the third reading.
Yes.
So we need to,
We need to vote.
we need to.
I do have one question. For example, if this ordinance is passed and you write someone a citation, can they come to the council and say, would you read the ordinance in full?
We have read it the first time.
No. I'm talking about if you write somebody a citation, can they come to a council meeting and say, would you read that ordinance that I've been charged with in full?
We can provide them copies, we'll have it on the
But if they
website.
ask that it be read at a council meeting, I'm looking at the legalities.
Are you talking about after it's adopted?
Yeah, and if someone is issued a citation, can they come and ask the council that the ordinance be read in full so they understand it all?
Yeah, they can ask the council that, it'd be up to them to read it, but at that point it's approved and it's been published in the paper, and it's a valid ordinance at that point.
What I'm saying, what if someone can't read?
Well, you presume to know the law, I mean, that would
And
be.
they come and ask, I'm going back through when that thing was read the first time.
I don't know what you're asking.
I think it's too long, and I think it should be separated into individual characteristics, dealing with cars, rental property, commercial property, instead of everything balled up into one thing. That's the reason I said if they come ask it to be read in full. You remember how long that took? 5 council members in 45 minutes?
Well, I do, but once it's passed, there'd be no reason to read it again. But, I mean, understand your point, and that's something that's up to the council. They could break this thing up into separate ordinances. That's certainly.
And I truly doubt that we're gonna give them a ticket for everything that's in this ordinance.
Yeah,
We could come to the,
but
to the.
they may
items
have a neighbor
in
that's
question.
got something that's invalid in the ordinance that didn't get written up. I'm not trying to throw a monkey wrench in anything. Like I said, I think it's too long, and I think it needs to be divided up into sections.
Okay, so we read this in its entirety.
Yes, we did.
We read it the following month by title only, and this is the third reading
reading.
by title only.
Correct.
So at this moment, we can make a motion to further suspend the rules and adopt the ordinance, correct?
Correct.
And I-
At this point, we should be making a motion to
Adopt
adopt
the
the
That's
ordinance.
right, we need to make a motion to adopt.
I make a motion to adopt this ordinance.
Second.
Nancy? Nancy?
Okay, Casey Griffin.
Yes.
Ally Sugg.
Yes.
Jim Lane.
I'm going to abstain.
Paula Swan.
Yes.
Paul Muse.
Yes.
Sharon Whedon.
Yes.
Louis Short.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Now, you have your power, you have your authority.
I have 30, within the next 30 days.
Thank you.
Start putting package together.
So a month from now, we expect to see this big glowing report of everything that's been accomplished.
Okay, new business. We have the mural that we need to approve and waive the application and the fees for the mural that is at 408 West Main. I don't know if everybody's seen this mural. It's really attractive. It's thank you, Ally, Casey, for y'all to putting some of this together and getting, what's his name, to
Jason White.
Jason White to paint it. And so it was a long time coming trying to find a building to put that on. And so we want to thank
Reed Hutchins, the pharmacy.
Yeah.
Hutchins.
Yeah, Reed Hutchins Pharmacy. And y'all, make sure that you, when you drive by there, look at it. It looks really good.
Looks great.
Yeah.
So we need a motion to waive the fee for the mural.
To approve the application and to waive the fees.
The fee. I so move.
Second.
Paul Muse,
Yes.
Louis Short,
Yes.
Jim Lang,
Yes.
Ally Sugg,
Yes.
Casey Griffin. Yes. Sharon Williams,
Yes.
Paula Moore.
Yes.
Where's the next one, Casey?
I don't know yet, that second one was
Well, that took us about two years.
yeah,
So,
slim pickings,
Starting now, it'll be done middle of next summer.
maybe, for the next.
Okay, motion carried.
there's too many cooks in the kitchen on that one.
Next item is the budget amendment. David, you want to? No? Okay. Y'all have this in your packet. Look at it. And, the first item is on general fund on human resource, where human resource is a total of $10,000, where initial budget is $366,000 in general fund. We'd add $10,919, which would be a final budget of $377,573.
Are we gonna do the whole budget together or each individual department?
I'm sorry.
What you're gonna do.
Okay, yeah, and let's do this together. And then sanitation, you know, we had to hire 2 additional people to ride on the back of trucks since we're not getting anybody from the jail. And hopefully that won't be.
Have they found any employees yet to do that?
Yes, yes, we have. I think we found 3 and 2 of them worked out, so. So we'll be adding, the initial budget is $435,837. We had 68,427, which would be a final budget of 504,264. Do we have any comments, discussion on this budget amendment?
Somebody have to read it.
Yeah,
Is this for a raise?
it would be for a raise for human resource, which is a part-time position this time.
So how many hours a week is that?
How many hours a week is that? Huh?
24.
24? Yeah,
And she asked for a raise?
yes.
Do we give raises usually in the middle of the year, or wouldn't that be something that we would wait and do when we
Well, it was.
did the budget?
She requested, I don't know if y'all see on the, I've got this on another sheet, on your budget, on your rate sheet supporting the general ledger accounts. I don't know if y'all have that. I think you do. And yes, back in, when the pandemic came in March, it was requested for, at that time. This would be for retroactive 530 hours and $2.05 per hour. And the remaining hourly pay in 2020 is 48-hour pay period. So it's in this position alone, it is a $8,117.53, which is additional.
I mean, I only like to give pay increases on how well somebody does a job.
Well, did she not
So-
get one when the others did?
Yeah,
No. She went to part-time at that time.
So she's still part-time.
Yeah.
She's still part-time, yes.
I'm lost here, but I'm not sure why.
I'd rather not be giving raises right now, especially since we had to furlough people, and I realized that gave her more work, but then we also had less employees that she was dealing with. I mean, I don't know, it makes it hard for me to give somebody a raise right now, knowing that, one, I'm not real sure if we have it, and I don't know.
Only been part-time since January?
No, not even, March, right?
She went part-time till in March, yes.
March, so she hadn't even been part-time
6 months.
that long. And she's already asking for a raise.
Well, I think we need to do these separate. This budget amendment.
Okay.
Well, minimum wage raised first of this year anyway.
Well, we've already.
Yeah.
That's
increased-
way
we've
over
already-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're over minimum wage for everybody in the city.
And we may be again, because somebody's hollering $15 an hour minimum wage, one of the politicians from the government, so we don't know. We just have to watch when we budget.
What do we want to address, the sanitation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if you want to split them, I'm going to have to bring a new resolution next month with the dollar amount separated.
We can't go ahead and vote on it?
I propose not.
So do we need a motion to table to next month?
Yes.
Yeah.
I move we table it till next month.
Second.
Nancy?
Casey Griffin,
Yes.
Sharon Williams,
Yes.
Hollis Moore,
Yes.
Ally Sugg,
Yes.
Jim Lang,
Yes.
Paul Muse,
Yes.
Louis Short.
Yes.
Okay, next item is on the background check policy, amending 3.6. This is something that the auditors requested that we do, do background checks every 3 to 5 years, and then anytime somebody goes from they go to a supervisor role, that we give them a background check as well at that time. That would have saved us some heartache about a year ago. So we do background check everybody when they're hired. And so this will be, and how much is a background check?
About $15.
$15? Okay.
I make a motion, we adopt this amendment to our employee handbook regarding the background checks.
I'll second it.
Paul Muse,
Yes.
Louis Short,
Yes.
Jim Lang,
Yes.
Ally Sugg,
Yes.
Wallace Bourne,
Yes.
Sharon Williams,
Yes.
Casey Griffin.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next item is our fixed asset policy. This is also a request from the auditors that we establish a useful life and a dollar amount for our fixed assets. We've already got a $1,000 limit on where that we put something on our fixed asset. Anything under $1,000, we don't. I don't think we had a useful life before, so I think 3 years is probably appropriate for a $1,000 item. Hopefully. This is just kind of house cleaning and request that we put this into policy.
This, of course, doesn't mean that we buy new police cars when they're 3 years old. I make a motion, we put this new policy into effect regarding our fixed assets.
Second.
Jim Lang,
Yes.
Ally Sugg,
Yes.
Wallace Bourne,
Yes.
Paul Muse,
Yes.
Sharon Williams,
Yes.
Casey Griffin.
Yes.
Louis Short.
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item of new business is the easement for Eden Eye Water and Sewer. I assume y'all seen the pipe that's been laid down by the little dike, and it goes south and then it ties in. It'll go eventually to just south of what subdivision is that? Or Fox Run, on Fox Run. And it'll go to a pump station. It's a high pressure pump station, high pressure line that will take care of Eden Isle. And of course, they've asked for easements from us. We'll give them easement, they give the property back to us. So we still have the usage of the property. And it's, I don't think there's any dollars to that. Is that a one? I think they,
Just when I looked at it,
no, it's one you looked at, I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was for up that ball field.
It says $1.
I thought it was up that ball field.
Well, it goes from, yep.
Yes.
Well, sure, I'm sorry. It
There's a
does
dollar.
go from it's through the ball fields, because that is not going by the little dike. I'm sorry. Thank you, Terry.
And it does.
But it's a force main sewer.
$1.
Yeah.
We're tying in where our lift pump is, out at the ball field, is that correct?
No, it will not tie into that. Tie in further down.
Further down?
Let me respond to that $1, because I assume you're seeing that in the easement somewhere. But I believe, if I recall, there was a dollar amount, $3 a foot or something. When I talked to Clint Bell about that, there was some consideration, but I think it may have been with the letter that went with it. This is a generic easement that they use, and that's the reason it has that dollar in there.
Right.
But I think there's something that went with this, that there was a monetary amount. It wasn't much. I tell you that, it wasn't much. But it was more than $1.
I think it was $3.
That seems like that's right, somewhere in that area. But I questioned Clint about the easement since it's going across city property anyways. And he had a very good answer. He said the reason they do that is in case the city were to ever sell the property, the easement's in place. In other words, whoever bought it, that easement would stay there. And that they know the location of it, you know, for other easements. So even though you're really granting an easement to yourself, this defines it. Right, I think somewhere else. Because I question whether there's any reason for the city to sign an easement to go across its own property, because the water department's gonna own and operate this thing, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah. It's gonna go out to serve Eden Isle, but it's not Eden Isle's to maintain, it's the city's.
Or the water department.
The water department, yeah.
My understanding is, let's see, after 5 years, we assume responsibility for the sewer line that Eden Isle lays, after 5 years. I think that was in the agreement to start with.
No, that's water department, it's not.
I know, but my understanding was that the water department, after 5 years, would assume responsibility for the line.
I could not answer that.
I can't either, that's, I think you might.
Yeah, because they said it would be a 4-inch line.
No, it's a 6-inch line.
Oh, it's 6-inch now.
Yeah.
Yeah, before it was 4-inch.
Yeah, it's 6
And I
inch.
said it was too small. I guess I was right.
Yeah.
So you need a motion to approve this easement?
Well, we're granting an interest in real estate, and the mayor asked me about it, and I recommended that the council vote on it because it has to do with an interest in real estate.
So it has to be recorded too?
Well, they'll record it.
Yeah. I got no problem. I make a motion to approve this
And this
easement.
easement's about 15 foot wide normally, and that's 7.5 feet on each side. And so, you know, like I said, what we do is we issue the easement and it comes back to us. It's still our property.
Make somebody a good jogging trail out there where it's at too.
Yeah.
Well, they definitely need enough room to get in there and make a repair if they have to.
So I make a motion we approve this easement.
Second.
Ellie Said,
Yes.
Paulus Moore,
Yes.
Sharon Williams,
Yes.
Casey Griffin. Yes. Jim Lang,
Yes.
Paul Muse,
Yes.
Louis Short,
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item is the community center hours. We talked about opening up the community center and expanding the hours as the school opened up. Kind of following along with the school, we talked about splitting the hours, going from 6 to noon and then 3 to 8. Wasn't it, Stacy?
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that that's very practical. I think if we're gonna open it up, let's open it up for the full schedule, normal scheduled hours.
Yeah, if you want to do it right, you open it up, or just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
So we have outlets.
So,
My recommendation is if you want to do that, you know, like I said, with title money, that's not gonna work staying like that, we'll keep it balanced, fine with that. But, you know, we add, the whole time we're gonna be adding more floors, you know. So, there's a salary that's gonna go up quite a bit.
yeah, we're still not having the numbers that we'd like to see in the community center because people are still leery. And Paul, you're out there a lot. So, you know, it has been helpful budget-wise to have our staff, you know, as slim as possible. But, Stacy, I'll kind of take your take on this as far as what do you think this will do to the numbers, the increase of usage of the facility?
Well, we're running slim right now, we even have a maintenance guy here, cleaning. The ladies are trying to do that as they can, and then I come in or go off to the roof, trying to keep those outside too, so. Not only that, but, during the day, in the morning, we're 8 o'clock till 1 o'clock, with pickleball and loggers, it's pretty busy. We'll have 70 people on the floor easy down there and then in here. But after 1 o'clock, it slows down a little bit. But there are people that come in and they walk and they'll get on the track and they might be over in the aquatics. But at 3 o'clock, I get it, a lot of people are getting up at 5 o'clock, they can't come to the center. But if we move that, to 5 or 6 o'clock, well, then we've got to have somebody else, because if I have somebody sick like this day, we're in line. Because I'm going slim right now. Right now, I've got Johnny on vacation, and so now Chris has to cover the desk, and then we have to cover lunches. So it's really tight with 3 people in this building. And that's what we're running on right now. 3 people. And normally we run on 7.
I think we're still going to have to, we're still going to have to be very frugal on the operation of the center.
I agree.
And I don't know, I think we're going to have to see if maybe the second shift, that we can run it with 1 in the counter. I don't know if you may have to bring Bill back to do some cleaning and some janitorial services.
Well, it's hard, because if you have an accident in the thing, we have to pull aquatics, and then sometimes we pull somebody from aquatics, we have something going on aquatics that happens, at the same time. That's where it hits you. You cannot pull the lady from the front desk. That was something that was, when we started, even when you guys were out there, we can't pull that person from the front desk. But we can aquatics.
When you first mentioned a split shift like that, I was thinking that's pretty good, but then I started thinking about workers. Who's gonna work a few hours, go home, and then come back for a second shift? I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, it's not fair on employees.
No, it's not.
I'm just being honest, I would not recommend
I don't
that.
think that's gonna work.
Well, that would be a different employee, right?
Yeah.
That would come on the second shift. I mean, that would be like,
No, because we have a full-time.
well, we can't get a part-time person,
You could, yeah, but, you're.
because then we're not having to pay benefits.
Right.
So if we got a
We're going to have to
part-time,
take advantage of part-time people.
yeah, I mean, if we got a couple
But
of
they're hard
part-time.
to find, and you know that, I've got 2, and I've already lost them. So it's, we got retired now. We normally kept 4.
For part-time?
And it was rough. I was the leader in losing people, and, like people in and out of this place was, part-timers, that anything. But it's very hard to somebody, because they have to work all weekends, and then work all vacations and all holidays, the part-timers. Because all our full-timers get all that off. But we did have 2, lost 14, and then the other 2, so we don't have it, we have to hire somebody. They got the job.
We want to try to open it up and see what your afternoon and night traffic is. Do that for a month.
Or you want to bring hire a part-timer to run the evening, or you want to bring my full-time back in to run the night shift?
Part-timer, I'd rather. Yeah. I mean, the only reason we're coming close to our budget is because we don't have the staff that we normally have.
Yeah.
And we, full-timers are very
I
expensive.
think, and it might be easier, because you have a lot of college students right now that are doing virtual classes.
Right.
So they're not going off to college, so I feel like a lot of them are here, and maybe you could find them that
Yeah, we
could
don't
come
have
in
to-
that night and work, and so maybe it would be easier to find a couple college part-time kids and come up here.
I don't have a problem having a part-timer, as long as we, like I said, we just figure out how long you want to stay open. And then and like I said, we're following the guidelines of the school, and I'm not sure how basketball is going to get, because right now, technically, we normally take registration for basketball right now. And I can't.
What's the health department's on basketball?
They have not approved any of that. They still will not allow me to put any basketball in this thing at all. I've already tried. They won't let me. They told me to keep the goals up.
They can do football.
Yeah.
Big football.
It's signed too.
So, I'm like, doesn't make any sense. I don't care they're out there shooting, but they will not allow me to have anybody in the shooting.
So your shift stays, so y'all close at 3 right now?
Yeah, we actually start from 7 to 3, because the ladies come in an hour and try to clean in the morning from that night, and then what they'll do is shut down at 3 o'clock, and then they clean 30 more minutes after the day's over, and then periodically do that.
Yeah, I think if we do open, 6 o'clock would be too early, because if we're trying to get the people that get off work at 5, it's hard for me to get off work at 5 and go work out, so it would have to be like the earliest we close is at 7.
Well, you know, our hours, our normal hours were at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so I just didn't know if we didn't want to extend it to that yet, and maybe we kind of ease into that, because I don't think we need to go to 8 o'clock.
No, I don't think we're gonna have anybody from 7 to 8, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
and so I would say if we do it, we, close it at 7 if we come back, and then hopefully we could go back to 8 once it picks up.
Because that's why we went back, because when I did the study for that whole thing, there were many times in here on Saturday that we said 0 people coming in that hour.
Right.
And it was supposed to be.
Now, if we do get to play basketball,
Except
we would have to move it back.
That's what we would have to open it up and extend it.
Yeah.
And the league, I'd have to run it, because they normally think online.
Yeah.
So that I'd have to have someone do it.
Except
That
for
would be wrong.
your racquetballers.
Right,
Yeah.
that's one of the ones they're good. Right, caller. But they're on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so that would be, 6 days, so.
Is there any activity at the ball field right now at all?
Our last tournament was last week. We're getting ready to have 2 more tournaments coming up, and then we're doing fall ball, which more, that's more beneficial. To be honest with you, the cost of the umpires and doing that is really costly to us, because these umpires are making $45 a game, and they require 2 on the field. So it's $90 a game, and it's very expensive, and we gotta pay somebody at the gate, that we do. So you don't collect enough at the gate and pay for the umpires, that's where you go home. Now during league, it's fine, it's not a problem there, but when you're having like these little fall balls and the tournaments, it's really, really tough, because everybody's having them. We've got Batesville, but they're all doing them.
And then soccer is going to be
And
starting up.
soccer's coming up, yes, I'm getting, that's what we're getting ready right now for United. They're taking registration right now. The governor actually passed that, so we can actually play soccer. So that, we'll have seven fields going up.
What is the, in baseball, softball, what is the breaking point on number of teams that need to be in a tournament to?
You need at least 18 teams if you're gonna.
18?
18.
Okay.
Yeah, anything less than that is pretty much, whoever's hosting that tournament or doing that, they're not gonna make any money, and you're not gonna keep them in town. They're gonna drive them down and leave.
Robert Widener, who was
Yeah,
he told me he made like 50 cents.
Yeah.
like the first one he did.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to work with him, because he's local and he really helped us out here. I mean, bringing in softball.
part-time.
And we've discussed many a times that the revenue that the town gets, especially on a 2-day tournament, when people spend the night and they stay and they eat at the restaurants and fill up with gas, that, we may not see that on our financial statement, but it is a great boost for the community and generates some more sales tax that we don't actually see on the revenue from the ballparks, but, so.
Well, I make a motion that we extend the hours to 7.
Okay.
and hire part-timers.
Okay. And can I have 2 part-timers? Because I need one for the aquatics, I'm gonna have to have one for here.
Well, I think you would have to have,
Well, actually 3.
well, yeah, because, I mean, one would only be able to work like 5 days and then one
Yeah,
on the
'cause I have-
weekend.
I gotta
Yeah,
be able to alternate.
so if you're keeping them under 20 hours,
Right.
because that's also, that's what I was thinking was 4 hours from 3 to 7. They could work Monday through Friday and then bring in another one. They could work weekend or alternate days, then they're at 20 hours. But you don't stay open that late on Sunday, do you?
No, we're not, just right now, we're not even open on Saturday and Sunday right now.
Oh, you're not even open?
Mhm.
Okay, so are we doing Saturday and Sunday or what?
I think,
They would have to be, the part-timers have to work them 2 days.
Oh. We're not open on the weekend? Man, we've never been open?
I don't know, since
Oh.
COVID.
Okay.
yeah.
Let's do Saturday.
Yeah, I was
Normal
wondering.
hours do, but with this COVID thing, I can't work the ladies that, I mean, 5 days is all I can get now.
So, okay, so then that goes back to discussion then, because we gotta figure out Saturday and Sunday then. So
Yeah.
if we were gonna do Saturday and Sunday, what would you suggest on hours?
That's gonna be really hard right now because I just don't know if we can pull the traffic in on Saturday, especially Sunday, but we might have, I'm guessing, over the first time on Saturday, we might have 20 people in here. Until they know that it's open.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, it'll take a little bit
It
to.
will, I'm just letting you know, it's gonna take a while for people to know because we've been down a while on Saturday and Sunday. And that's something we're gonna have to promote, get on the webpage and let everybody know what we open.
You know, because, I mean, if we're gonna open and then we're trying to get people to buy memberships.
I need to interject something.
Okay.
You guys remember that this has to be out in the paper for 10 days. So you can't just hire somebody if he's already lost his part-time people. It's gonna be a 10-day window to be able to put it into the newspaper, get the job out there, and then the hiring process will take place. So it will not happen until after that. So you guys will have school already in session and know what's going on, but it will be a minimum of 10 days before you can even start to do any interviews. So it
Okay,
will
so
not
if we said
happen
September
immediately.
15th, we're gonna open back up.
I'm just telling you, if you can get someone that will work the part-time shift, it will be 10 days before we can interview that person and then.
Make your motion with an effective date or something.
It's not immediate.
You still have to go through the hiring process. Run it, you have to run it 2 weeks in the paper and on there, and then do the interviews and the hiring.
You know, hiring
They're
body
gonna do
what?
part-time, that's how that is September 14th.
Okay.
And then you have to bring them in and train them. I mean, our people have to train them, because they're gonna be running the new system there. So that takes 2 weeks to a month on some people to train.
Today's the 20th.
I feel like.
You can't alter, you can't alternate in there. You gotta have, always gotta have somebody at the counter.
I said, I feel like
Somebody's
he
gotta
needs
be
to bring
on
us
the
a
floor.
point.
Ally,
Ally.
Ally,
Make it the 14th. Monday, 14th.
How many full-time people are there?
4,
Well, what's that?
How many full-time people?
talking about now.
Right now? 3.
Yeah.
Just, we have 3 right now.
Well, you got Chris plus.
Well, Chris, yeah,
Yes.
there's 4 that I have on staff. Right now.
Okay, so September 14th is a Monday. Does that work?
We push pretty close, I mean, that would be hard, but it would be close.
I can tell you right now, there are a lot of people looking for jobs,
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Well, it's just the 2 weeks, you gotta wait 2 weeks and then.
especially part-time.
You know,
I feel like a
you
lot of
gotta
people,
run 2 weeks.
that's the only thing they want. They want to keep their
And then
unemployment.
training.
yeah.
They could do part-time and keep their unemployment.
The training is the hardest part of it because there's a lot of times people don't catch on. This person might not catch on as fast as this person does, so, especially with the new system.
So what's the Saturday, Sunday hours?
Yeah, and that's what I was, that's something we can do. I mean, if you wanna run like, 6 hours, do the same thing, maybe 8 to 3 on Saturday or 9 to 3 on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was only 6 hours anyway, because we don't, we open from 1 to 6 on Sunday. So we
Okay.
could still do that.
Okay. So you said,
1 to 6 on Sunday, and if you wanted to, on Saturday, we could do it, try 9 to 3.
Okay.
Okay, you said it takes approximately two weeks to train.
2, I mean,
Okay.
that's minimum.
Okay, so when are we actually looking at extending hours?
Well, it's
I guess-
on to September 15th.
we'd have to get the employees first.
Right.
I know.
So it would be September 14th that we start doing that.
No, because then
Well, we can get it in
we
the
gotta
paper.
post for the
We
job.
won't get it in the paper
We
till
gotta
Wednesday.
interview.
Isn't that right, Alex?
But I just don't think we're gonna
The
make.
26th.
I really don't.
Okay, so October 1st?
And you got 2 days.
Okay, we've moved this back now to October the 1st.
There you go.
How many employees? 3, part-time?
Yeah, 3.
Back to October the 1st. Okay.
And then that will give us enough time to promote it,
Correct.
telling people that it's gonna open up to the regular hours. And then memberships, are y'all selling?
We're just gonna do to 7 o'clock during the week, and then on Saturday, we'll just do the 9 to 3.
9 to 3 and then 1
And
to
if
6.
you want to do the Sunday, that's your call, we can do 1 to 6 and normal, that's normal, on Sunday, it's 1 to 6. But, no, yeah, we can't play any basketball, it'd be pickleball, or it'd be racquetball, or swimming. Until they release the basketball, that's when it'll pick up.
And we'll know by then,
I hope so.
because basketball teams will start practicing by
Yeah.
then.
I've got to find out here soon for registration.
Okay. Gonna make a motion,
What did we decide, October 1st?
October 1st.
All right, I think that'll,
What is the?
plenty of
I've
time.
got to ask you.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we extend our hours on October 1st until 7 o'clock during the weekdays,
Correct.
1 to 6, or 9 to 3 on Saturday, 1 to 6 on Sunday, and we hire 3 part-time employees to fill those hours.
Yeah.
Are you opening at 8 o'clock? Are you opening at the regular time?
I think we're keeping what we're
Yeah.
doing now.
Yeah, we're keeping the 8, it'll just be 8 to 7. Instead of like Charlie's, it's not 6 o'clock, we'll do 8 to 7.
Stacy, it's not hurting you not opening it up at 6?
No.
Okay.
Is the swimming pool open now for free swim, or is it still lap?
It's still lap only, they won't allow you to do that either. It's just lap lanes only, and they're really technically, I'm kind of, I could get in trouble myself, but I'm letting them swim in every lap. You're supposed to be every other lap. But as long as they're up like this, like that, I'm not really concerned about that. As long as
Just
they don't
four.
lap. And they're really not talking to each other, they're swimming. But technically, you're not supposed to be in, every lap lane. Which is only 2 people, because I only have 3 laps.
Has that been used much with the rules now, the laps? Do we have it used all the time? Are they using the laps?
Mhm.
Is that being utilized?
Yeah.
I'm gonna second that motion.
Just want to vote on budget.
Nancy?
Casey Griffin,
Yes.
Sharon Williams,
Yes.
Louis Short,
Yes.
Paula Sporn,
Yes,
Paul Muse,
Yes.
Ally Sugg,
Yes.
Jim Lane.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And I would, hey, make sure Chris posts on the Facebook page and,
Yeah, I'm gonna call her.
yeah, because we need to start promoting it now and letting people know.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Okay, we got, I think that's it. We have, now we'll invite open mic if somebody would want to, anything to discuss to the council. None of you scouts? We're glad y'all are here.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one jumped up. I make sure motion to adjourn so Doug and I can go eat supper.
Well,
Unless you got one thing.
One thing, we need, school starts August 24th, and please be aware of kids that are crossing the streets, because we haven't been used to that lately, and so
buses.
around the school, be very,
Buses.
And buses stopping.
and buses
School
stopping.
zones, all that.
Yep, yep. And then, this weekend, we've got the Makers Market on the Court Square, and, what else we got, man? Casey's
Cuts
giving
for kids.
Cuts for kids.
cuts for kids.
The prayer walk is Sunday. Prayer walk,
6
Sunday
o'clock.
at the school, 6
At
o'clock.
school at 6. Okay.
I do have one thing. There's going to be a prayer vigil, I think you know about it, Jimmy, on September the 26th down at the courthouse lawn. You may not know, I don't know. There's a movement nationwide, statewide, to call our people to prayer for our nation, because it's greatly needed at this point in time. We're so divided. So we, the women's group that I'm with, we hosted a luncheon for area pastors, and there were several that will be leading the community in prayer, and we'll be putting out more information about that. But I think you're going to be contacted about it, as well as Judge Holmes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 5 o'clock, music starts, and at 6 o'clock, the prayer service will start.
And-
Yeah, you can call Wanda Malone, or I'll let her know.
Okay.
To call you.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry, September the 26th. It is coinciding with a march that's happening in Washington DC for the same reason. 5 o'clock music starts, and 6 o'clock will be prayer service.
Yes, sir.
Uncommon Communities program that was just finished?
Yes, sir.
They having a board meeting?
Uncommon Communities?
Yeah, they just finished, it was just advertised on the Heber Springs website, a program called Uncommon Communities.
It was, the final
Yeah.
meeting was last weekend. Last weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
It was a 2-year program at Winthrop Rockefeller out on Petit Jean Mountain. And every other month, we went and stayed 24 hours, sometimes longer, and they brought in people and talked to us about different things. It was put on by the county, so it was a county group that Jerry and Jimmy got to put some people on it as well. So,
Sponsored by First Electric.
Is it no longer continuing?
well, we have a project that we started that we work on, and then we started at 2 years ago, and our project's kind of not coming to an end, but, you know, we've got different things going, like the new branding and marketing for the city, and talked about how we implement that and the best way that other cities are implementing that. The mural was a part of it.
Makers Market.
A lot of what Casey and I
Yeah, Makers
do
Market's
are-
part of it.
Yeah, Makers Market, Chamber, the building? Okay, yeah. And so there's things that we're still working on, but it's just, now we've kind of started a group called Revive Heber Springs. Well, we did a year ago. And it's like every other group where everybody's gung ho about it at the beginning, and then they kind of, yeah, and so, and really, especially during the coronavirus, we haven't met at all. So Casey and I have been doing the majority of the work, so, but just, it was a good program. I mean, we learned a lot. They flew in people from all over the country to come and talk to us about what's working in other places, and so we still have other projects that we're working on though that we'll continue to work on. It just took a long time it was like a hamster wheel there for a little bit.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
gave
we'd
us a lot
like
of
to
good tools.
thank our First Electric. They were a big sponsor of it for Cleveland County. So,
And the USDA.
and USDA.
Yeah, we paid for the the new banners that went around the courthouse. We're selling these t-shirts right now and the hats, and what we're really wanting to do is raise enough money to buy lights to go through downtown, or not buy them all because it'll cost, but like hopefully, you know, put towards that and just keep doing things that help. So it may not be big things, but
And
yeah.
help pay for the mural.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if it was gonna be a continuing program. I had just heard about myself. I mean, I know I'm doing around here. I've been trying.
Get involved.
Some of you back there. I'm somewhere. So, I really
Glad you're here.
See a lot of potential around here. So,
Yeah.
things together.
I would like to
If
mention,
you want to volunteer, we'll put you to work. Just let us know.
Well, I'm out there working every day.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention that there is a 1/3 of a cent gas tax, and Municipal League of Arkansas Cities has suggested that since it goes into fixing county roads and county bridges, they ask that we ask the voters to support that 1/3 of a cent. Unless you think it bankrupt you.
No, we're not gonna support it. It's supposed to be sunset.
Maybe ask how a wheel tax and one other stuff, I'm not exactly sure.
It's a ballot initiative.
Okay, Mom.
And I hope one final thing,
One thing, the
has
census.
everyone done their census?
Yes.
Yes.
The
Has
census.
everyone? And
Has everybody here done their census?
I'm gonna put you on the spot. If you have done your census, put your hand up. Thank you. I want to tell you a real quick story. A friend of mine is one of the people that knocks on the doors. Quick story. He knocks on the doors. I asked him the other day, I said, were people nice to you? And he says, let me tell you. He says, how many people do you think I personally talked to before I got told to get the blank off the property? And I said, well, not very many. He said, you'd be surprised. He said, it was number 12 that told him instantly, don't want to talk to you, get off my property. He said, everybody else was super nice, understood, and they were just apologetic. Oh, I was going to do that. But if you know somebody that has not done it, do it. Get them to do it. Get it over with. Because
Was he a part of one of the canvasser group paid by the Census Bureau?
Paid by us.
he get, you're talking about, yeah, he gets paid for doing the census work.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, he get paid. He's a part-timer for them.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was working the Quitman Rosebud area.
Because they
But-
haven't had that many out doing
No.
that.
Where you got going, so they cut back on sending out.
Yeah, they cut it down.
Yeah.
And then they also moved the expiration date up to September 30th instead of October 30th.
Right.
For some reason. So
They want to get it done.
It is strange. They
Well,
just-
everybody needs to know that's federal money that every time you fill out your census, that's federal money coming here.
Yeah,
And when you
because,
don't, that's federal money that doesn't come here.
right, because if anybody, we all see this state tax report every single month. And if you look on there, they're basing those numbers off the 2010 census. I mean, that's what it's based off of. So, you know, if we've gained population, we're losing money.
How long
We-
do they have to live here before they can count that they live here?
30 days, I think.
I think so.
And the last
Well, no,
numbers.
you don't have
I have
to,
more
no,
just
if
in
you're
the last
living,
6
no, if you're living here.
The
you
last
fill out the
numbers
census.
that I saw was the county
Even if
was
you're a
at
citizen or
50.
not.
45,
40, Jerry said 51% the other day.
51 today,
That's what he said the other day.
and we were at 64%.
They were in Greer's
And we
Ferry
had,
yesterday.
I'm sorry?
They were in Greer's Ferry yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then we were at 64% with about another, I think the county was looking to have another 12,000 fill out the census, and the city is looking for another, a little over 2,000. So, so we're doing okay, but we need to be at that 80% mark and better.
I think part of the problem is people don't understand why the government needs to know some of the questions that are being asked, and so they're very suspicious of why they're being asked those questions, and that's why they won't do the census. That's what I've been told. I've
But
always responded.
It's
But all they want to know is how many
They
people
don't
in the house.
understand that they're looking at it as the money coming into the
Right.
county. So I think there needs to be some communication along those lines to make people understand.
Well,
why it's important.
and it funds the schools more than anything else, and we desperately need that funding. You know, Okay, may I have a motion?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Second.